reverse my decision, I make a stupid decision again. This is what's happening. Yeah, biggest one-day game for Nasdaq.
Wait, what? Is there any point to watching this?
Nasdaq since 10/13/2008. This is why I hate the stock market. It is fake. It's not real. Money is not real. Don't tell me the stock market is real, okay? It is so fake. It's the most fake of all time. It is the most fake of all time, dude. Holy moly. That's why I kept stressing the importance that like your 401ks diminishing is consequential, certainly. But what is more important here is the potential for layoffs. It's an indicator of the economy getting worse because the stock market gains are privatized at the tippy top, but the losses are socialized. This is precisely the reason why when it's doing well, you're not necessarily doing great, okay? But when it's doing poorly, you will suffer. Yeah, this is the meme. I'm adding tariffs.
I don't care.
Let's do January 6th really quick. Well, not really quick. It's impossible to do.
Oh, this is 5 months ago.
Quick, but we'll do it. We'll do it in a way that you can feel that you have a full-throated context for your argument. I guess actually before we do the January 6th, because we haven't answered that, just so Sachs and Chamath, because we're going to hear from both of them in this clip that I played that you said was a lot of context, and so they're both for Trump and fundraise for him. Have you said who you're voting for?
I'm a double hater.
You're a double hater. Are you going to decide? Do you think, or do you?
I'm a resident of Texas, so my vote doesn't matter. Might do a write-in vote.
Can I work you over? What about all red crews?
Why they're so cowardly? Like, just say it. Well, then just say who you're going to vote for. Like, you know what we're asking. We're saying, like, who do you support? Like, well, I'm in a state where it doesn't matter. Okay, then just... Are you, like, that scared of committing to a position?
An all red crews vote yet?
I don't know what that means.
The Senate race in Texas? Colin Allred versus Ted Cruz.
I haven't actually given it much thought. I just became I just moved here this year.
Texas resident. Okay. Well, I don't really think it's probably the best use of our time for me to try to convince you to vote for Colin Allred over Ted Cruz. We can do that all in the green room if we still like each other at the end of this. All right. So this is what started all this. We went back to, as you've said at the beginning, this podcast from right after January 6th. Obviously, emotions were running high, and we put out a 1-minute version of it. Obviously, an hour-long podcast, and so I want to replay that, and then you can tell us what you think was missing from it. But let's listen.
I would rather take every single person arrested and give them 0 days in jail and add it all up and give it to Trump. He is a complete piece of shit fucking scumbag.
He's garbage.
Is Trump responsible? Yes. I mean, clearly.
100%.
100%. Yes, because he is a one.
Oh, so this was back when, before we knew that Trump was going to be back in office. This was, okay, I see what's going on here. Uh-oh.
Who put forth this theory that the election was stolen and was constantly repeating it for the last 2 months.
Yep.
If you want to see that this mob is a gun, I think he loaded the gun. He pointed it in a certain direction. And
is that the end of his political career?
I think he's disqualified himself from being a candidate, at a national level.
Can I ask you guys what you think of this? Basically, Pelosi has told Pence, you have to invoke the 25th Amendment or they're going to take up impeachment. What do you guys think about that?
I think it's the right thing to do. He's a maniac.
Jesus.
I mean, this is insane, deranged, criminal, lunatic behavior. It's completely possible that he could do something more dangerous in the last 14 days.
Okay. Naturally, I agree with all of that.
I stand by my statements 100%. Yeah. I mean, I've always
good.
The biggest blocker for me with Trump has always been, his behavior on January 6th. I come from a family of law enforcement, and I was going to be a cop and then an FBI agent, and I just happened to get accepted
so he
to night
stands
school
by it,
and
right?
didn't go into the force. And my brother went into the force. He's a cop and retired now. Anybody who's got members of their family in law enforcement understands exactly how bad that day could have been. And the fact that those cops did not.
For some law enforcement. I mean, some got injured.
Yeah, but if in those moments, when a cop's getting beaten like that, if one of those cops had done what other cops told me would have been absolute proper protocol, which is shoot their guns and defend themselves against people, spraying them with bear spray and beating them savagely, we would have had 50 dead Americans, 25 dead Americans. And I think that is the thing that anybody who is voting for Trump has to really deeply consider, is that he could do this again. And the fact that he didn't accept, the election results, and that they're still on about like the election wasn't, a clean election, despite them doing everything they could to fight it, and every lawsuit getting turned over by Trump judges half the time. And then Pence, his own vice president, saying like, "You lost, bruh. That's it. It's over." And then his own family saying, "Hey, call off the hounds. You sent these people there. You said fight like hell." But I think for partisan people, they've reframed their position on Trump. They've re-underwrote it. I have not re-underwritten my Trump.
But you just said though, like you said, you're a double hater, and so I just don't like. How do you get from a place where somebody is criminal, insane, deranged, a lunatic, possibly liable to do another insurrection, and then say, well, I don't know, even Stephen, I don't like Kamala because Bernie Sanders said something mean about billionaires. Like I don't understand.
No, I just don't know that. I don't think she's qualified for the job. She's been an
attorney general, a senator, vice president.
Yeah, I'm not impressed by her at all.
I love that the change in thing there, right? It's the robot talking points. They're robots. They're NPCs in the worst way. I don't think she's qualified. Well, definitionally she is, right? Well, I'm not impressed by her qualifications. Okay, well, that's fine, but that's a little bit different than what you had just said before, right? You said she wasn't qualified. She clearly is qualified. She's literally held these types of public office before, no?
Sure, but there are plenty of people I'm not impressed by that I would vote for over Trump. I mean, I guess I agree with you on Kamala, but basically
you're making a strong argument.
There's 435 people in Congress. I mean, I would probably vote for all of them over Trump, except maybe Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't know Ilhan Omar, but you could pick a random person out of the hat I would have over Trump. I don't understand what Like, how do you go from saying this person should be jailed, he's disqualified, he's a maniac, to being like, well, I don't know.
Well, I'm not a fan of either person, and I'll probably do a write-in vote, but I don't think Trump's going to win.
Cowards. Always cowards. Coward. Oh, yeah, I just write in. Yeah.
If I'm being honest, I think women who had their rights taken away by Roe v. Wade, which is my second major blocker with Trump, January 6th being number one and overturning Roe v. Wade number two.
So J6 and Roe v. Wade are your huge issues, but you can't decide between Trump and Kamala. What? Hello? What's happening here?
I think women are going to come out in force, and he's going to get shellacked. But I could be wrong.
I don't know. I mean, but like,
I'm no political expert.
Sure, you had him on the podcast, though. You didn't even ask about January 6th. So this is
I'm one of. I was going to go to it.
A piece of shit fucking scumbag, and then he comes on the podcast.
You can ask Chamath about it. I was going to ask him about it, and we ran out of time. And I'm only 25% of the questions, but I did get my 2 questions in about abortion, which went national news, and visas and immigration, which went national news. So I had 3 questions I wanted to ask, and in my interview technique was going to increasingly go with the more difficult ones. And then when we got to January 6th, they pulled the plug on it.
Yeah. But
no, sincerely, Tim, you're laughing, but I don't know.
No, I'm laughing because it's just like, I mean,
did you hear my other questions?
I did. They were fine. They were tough questions. I'm
the only person who asked tough questions.
Yeah, you're the only one. But
I followed up like 3
times. Your colleagues, you don't. In the post game though, then I listened to the post game, and it wasn't like you were like mad at them for not asking him, or you didn't say like, hey, Chamath.
No, I mean they're not journalists.
You thought he
they're
should
not
be jailed.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't understand how you get there from. I thought he should be jailed to I'm going to host a fundraiser for him.
Well,
like, you no longer think he should be jailed?
You have to ask them.
Well, why don't you ask them though? You guys have a podcast you meet every week, isn't that?
Yeah, we've had the debate many times on it. Yeah.
So then, do you understand what changed? I mean, again, Trump.
Chamath did a whole episode where he talked about his re-underwriting of it, so you can listen to that episode. Yeah, like I'm saying, I'm here to talk about my opinion. I can't tell you about theirs. Yeah.
Well, but your opinion is still neutral though, which I'm struggling with. Like I think
Trump's.
Is Kamala an existential threat?
I think if she spends a ton of money, I think they're both existential threats. If they spend,
oh my God! Like, what are we doing here? Hello?
Another $8 trillion.
I mean, so you said you want a politics guy, so maybe I'm going to try to win you over here. The Senate right now is 51 to 50, 51-49, excuse me. And Joe Manchin is one of the Democratic senators. He's not running again, so the Republicans are going to win that state. That's West Virginia. Yeah. So the Republicans have at least 50 senators. They're almost certainly going to win the Montana Senate race, which is John Tester. He's running. Nice guy. Lost a couple fingers, but it's just Montana's pretty red these days. And so the Republicans are going to have 51 Senate seats. There's nothing. I just don't like if the threat to Trump is he might try another insurrection, he's going to mass deport people, he might unilaterally put in a tariff. And the threat to Kamala is she might spend a lot of money, but there's going to be a Republican Senate. It just seems like,
also,
you're a risk assessment guy, right? When you're deciding what to invest in, isn't like general risk analysis part of
I think she's a bit of a neocon. And I think the one thing I do like about Trump,
Kamala's a neocon?
Yeah, I think she will start wars. And I don't think she will be able to handle those geopolitical situations as well as Trump. This is the only thing I can say for Trump that I appreciate about him is his ability to bond with dictators. And he does quite well with them, communicating with them, and he doesn't like to start wars. Mm-hmm. And he's, I think that...
As we're looking at a potential war with Iran, as we've failed completely and totally with Russia, that's just been an utter failure.
He will do better on that issue.
Yeah. So that was that what your risk assessment? Because that's really what kind of lands for me. I just like, even if I were a double hater, which I'm not, like my risk assessment is I look at the two sides and it's like we've established that things are basically fine in the country right now, even good. And it's like we could continue that path with a mixed Washington, with Supreme Court being Republican, with the Senate being Republican, with Kamala Harris as president, or we can take a flyer on Donald Trump unleashed. We've already seen what happened at the Capitol. Who knows what would happen in a second term? Like, isn't it just a basic risk assessment?
I think your analysis is excellent.
So have I won you over? Have we done it right now? Breaking news?
Texas.
Your vote kind of matters. You just said at the beginning, you have a lot of people that listen to your podcast. I'm sure there are a lot of Jasons out there. I'm sure there are a lot of people that are annoyed with Sachs and they're like listening to Jason and they're like, I don't know, I'm on the fence right now and I live in Atlanta and I'm an all-in fan and maybe you can nudge them in the right direction.
Yeah, I'll take it under advisement.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's a good try.
I mean, I take the other show I have with Kamala is not her not going on any adversarial podcasts or talking to people.
She's doing Fox this week.
I finally, yes. I give her credit for doing Fox this week, yes.
Okay.
That's the other big thing. Like, I really feel like there should be 3 debates.
I agree.
And that there should be 3. Anybody who's a presidential candidate should have to do 3 primary debates and 3 regular debates, presidential debates. And like, I think Trump did 2 debates and Kamala did 1. And neither of them did any primary. And then Kamala had no primary process. Yeah. So what do you think of that, not having a primary process?
Wow. I wish it was primary. But also the party's picked presidents like this for a long time. And so I don't really see it as a grave threat to
Who would you rather have?
Than Kamala?
Instead of Kamala.
I mean, Kamala's grown on me, to be honest, and I don't like.
Why?
So why? Maybe part of the reason that you don't like her, the Kamala's a neocon thing. I feel like her foreign policy comments have all been directly in line with where I'm at, basically on foreign policy. So she's grown on me in that sense. I thought her convention was really an appeal to the big middle and to kind of the American tradition, particularly when it comes to immigration and speaking about kind of the diverse backgrounds of her and Tim Walz and giving people opportunity and protecting freedom. I just think all of her rhetoric.
What do you think of Tim Walz?
I didn't like that pick. I wanted Shapiro.
Me too.
I like Shapiro a lot better. And
why did you pick Shapiro? It makes no sense to me. Like, is it this idea of like you don't want somebody who's a little bit brighter, in terms of shining bright, not bright?
Yeah. I think I have on pretty good authority. I think that the reason was simply vibes. that like her and Walls clicked. That Walls was more of like a cheerleader type. Like, I'm here for you. I'm going to be your second command. Also, the like kind of the vibe of bringing a little bit of balance. Like Shapiro, despite the fact that they're different, like they both are still like coastal lawyers, right? Like I think Shapiro is still like
Back
a
to the
lawyer,
elites thing,
you know, and yeah, so it's kind of a double lawyer thing.
Okay, I don't care.
And don't tell me what Asman is saying. Asman is saying China started this war because they steal and copy products. Stop! Stop! We're talking about people who are adults, who are fucking PhDs and famous economists who are dropping the ball and failing to comprehend what is actually happening, what is actually unfolding in front of their eyes. And you're fucking telling me about Asmongold? What the fuck does he know about global trade? Shut up!
Be mad.
The knowledgeable people are also oblivious to what is happening in front of their fucking eyes. And you're telling me about like a dude with cockroaches that fucking roll over him.
Ooh.
Who cares what his fucking take is on this? Are you kidding me? He's just repeating
mad.
whatever the fuck Republicans are saying, okay? And they know even less.
That's how we feel about Hassan.
What are you
True.
talking about?
Laugh with me.
That committee was totally rigged, and I didn't mind going to
I brought
prison.
a copy tonight. Here it is, the Constitution. Can I read a passage to you? Amendment 22. No person shall be elected to the office of the president more than twice. And yet you keep talking about Trump's... Maybe you should have this. Here,
I'll get you to sign it backstage and underline.
I will.
Look, President Trump didn't bring up running for a third term. Myself and others brought up running for a third term. President Trump is going to run for a third term, and President Trump is going to be elected again on the afternoon of January 20th of 2029. He's going to be president of the United States.
Okay, but the thing I just read in there, it seemed like there was no wriggle room there. It seemed like it was just, 8 or 10 words it said only 2 times.
We have a team of people that are working. A team.
How can a team do something about that? What? I don't care if the team is 12 trillion people. The words are still the words.
Bill, every day in federal courts, right now in federal courts, there's 120 lawsuits on what President Trump's doing for his Article 2 rights on the unified executive theory. But he's chief executive, he's commander in chief, and he's chief magistrate and chief law enforcement officer. There's 100, and they're running to court every day to sue President Trump, all because the interpretation of this. The interpretation of this is open for interpretation.
How could it be open? Could I have it back? How could it? I'm sorry to be. No person. You would agree he's a person. Okay, shall be elected. He was elected to the office. That's the office of the president more than twice. Twice is once and then another time. I don't see what the team is finding.
Okay,
I will disagree.
That
Really makes you think, doesn't it? It's okay. The ship will survive.
Beijing saying,
Yeah, I think, by the way, like,
saying that, Beijing saying,
yeah, I think this is really bad, by the way. Like, I think that, like, there's a degree of unreasonability here. And, like, maybe this is just me speaking as an American, but I do think that China are the ones that are taking advantage of the situation. When, like certain laws aren't followed, you're not even able to like go to arbitration with Chinese companies, etc. This seems very one-sided. And I just find it to be disappointing, right? Because like, we have a good thing, just make it a little bit more fair and everybody's going to be happy. Why can't you do this? It doesn't make sense to me.
How does he square that away with the fact that he's siding with somebody who doesn't believe in any rules whatsoever, though? Because Donald Trump clearly doesn't believe in any rules whatsoever. It's an interesting perspective, but okay. Look at this brave ship go. You're doing so good. You're doing a great job. Everybody's cheering for you. You got it, buddy. Wait, where the fuck do the eggs go? Ingredients. This. Wait, what is it producing? 2 times pentapod egg. Oh wait, it just made one thing. Never mind, I'm fucking retarded. I'm actually retarded. I was looking at this bar thing. There we go. Okay, cute.
He was the White House chief strategist and now hosts the War Room podcast. Steve Bannon. He's global security analyst for Washington Post Intelligence and author of Chaos Under Heaven. Josh Rogan. And he hosts Piers Morgan Uncensored on YouTube. Piers Morgan. All right, here are the questions from the people. What does the panel think about reports that the Trump administration plans to hold a military parade on the 250th anniversary of the Army's founding, which also happens to be Trump's birthday? Oh, goody, tanks in the streets, huh? Is that a good thing, do you think?
I think it's a fantastic thing. I think it's a great thing.
Yeah, government efficiency at work, right? That's what we're spending our defense dollars on, is parading a bunch of
It's a way to inspire people, as you know, Josh, young men and women to join the military, to see the pageantry like they do in France with Macron, that great July 14th, Bastille Day.
Was there tanks in the street?
There were tanks. Yeah. They do everything.
Yeah, we do it in the UK all the time.
All the time.
Yeah. Tanks in the street.
Yeah, it's always been surprising to me you don't do it.
Yeah, Kim Jong-un loves it. Yeah. Kim Jong-un.
Russia does it too.
Yeah. Putin, Xi Jinping. Yeah.
Bill, what do you think?
I don't want America to get used to the sight of tanks in the street.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I don't. Because once you see it, it becomes normalized. What's behind the church-going revival in the UK, particularly among Gen Z? Is that true? Are British
if you saw the state of our country right now, there's a lot to go and pray about. There'll be nothing more sinister than that.
That's it?
I don't know anything about the UK. You guys stumped me on that
kids are getting more religious? Is that what's going on?
I don't know. I didn't actually know that was a fact, but I mean, church going generally has been going down.
My daughter's too. Her only religion is Bluey.
What is that?
Thank God I don't have kids.
Yeah.
Bluey is
what does the panel think of Jeff Bezos' company Blue Origin sending an all-female crew and Katy Perry and Lauren Sanchez and Gayle King? I know them all, love them all, hope they're all safe. I'm sure they will be to space next week. Is there any scientific merit to this mission? Yes.
No, but you know what? I just think that people that knock any form of exploration. You know, when I was born in '65, the first thing I can really remember as an existent human being was the excitement around the rockets going up, right? And then it sort of stopped. And you kind of thought, are we going backwards? I mean, exploration, space travel, the bold frontiers.
Katy Perry is not exploring space.
No, I know. I know, but I wouldn't go up there, would you? Would you go up there?
Absolutely not.
I wouldn't do it in a million years. So I admire the balls.
No.
We should be cheering them on.
No, I'm sure it'll be safe, but it's just, I wouldn't go skydiving either.
No, I agree with you.
Mean, there's just no reason.
Jeff Bezos is my boss, and I support him.
You toadying little crawler. After all the lectures you gave us earlier.
I wouldn't like to get fired today. I'm not trying to get fired.
That's the trouble, you see. The trouble is, Josh, you get close to them and then it starts to take over.
Yeah, guess what, America? Guess what, America? We're all part of the same hypocrisy. All right. Including Steve, including myself. We're all.
Keep me out of it.
Yeah.
Too late.
Yeah.
Too late.
Yeah.
You're in it. You're in it to win it.
Yeah. No we here. I want to ask a question. Mike Huckabee, you remember him?
Yes, sir.
He is now the ambassador to Israel.
Sure.
Mike Huckabee, we've had him on the show. If you don't remember, he was the governor of Arkansas. You know, a very religious man.
Yep.
And I'm sure they're sending him to Israel because he's a great friend of Israel. I have a problem with this. You know why people like that are friends with Israel? Because when you know who comes back.
Right. The Jews have got to rule earth under hell, right? That's the
Well, they all
idea.
die.
Or they all die. Either way, it's not really a great deal for
Jesus
us.
saves 144,000 Jews.
Right.
That's not a lot of Jews.
I don't think I'm going to be. I don't think I'm going to make the cut. To be honest with you, I'm not a.
That's
very
why
observant.
super duper Christians love Israel.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just saying. And now he's okay. Low flow showers. Trump is.
I'm with Trump on this one. Yeah.
Yeah.
No one likes a low flow shower. That's an 80-20 issue. It's good politics as far as I'm concerned.
And daylight savings time.
Now that one I like. That one I like it to be light in the evenings.
Yes.
I'm not a morning person. For all the morning
Me
people
too.
out there, forget you.
But
Okay.
When is the AA bonus episode going to be? Tonight at 7 o'clock. We're doing call-ins. 1 hour, 10 minutes.
But getting rid of it, don't we have more light in the winter?
Yeah, we do.
So that's what we want.
I'm
No,
in
if we get
favor
rid
of
of daylight savings time, it gets dark early.
No. What we do now is when it starts to get dark, we move it the wrong way. And now it's dark at like 4 in the afternoon. It's stupid. That's what he's, I think, trying to get rid of. And the penny.
Yeah. He's right about all these things, I think.
Well, it's just good politics to pick on, taxes on tips, all these little things.
Yeah.
That
It's somewhat of a distraction from the ongoing.
And raise taxes on the wealthy. He said it last week.
Yeah, is that happening?
It's coming.
But what
He
about the
said
tax cut for the wealthy? Isn't that coming too?
No. It's going to be extended. He's not going to extend the tax cuts for the wealthy. He's going to no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, and no tax on overtime.
So you're saying all the donors are about to get a tax hike?
They're already screaming. But he told the Senate that he's open to when extending the tax cuts, not extend them.
Open to. So
No. But he's already. I think, and Scott Bessent, the Secretary of Treasury, I think, is working on this. Not to extend it to the upper bracket or make a new bracket.
And
at
you
$1
think
million.
Congress is going to pass that, knowing who they get their money from?
they do whatever he tells them to do.
If President Trump comes in and says to do it, he'll
Okay,
he'll
so
do it.
the Steve Bannon plan is that Republicans are going to abandon the donor class, and then what's going to happen in 2020?
Where else are they going to go? We got total leverage over them. Where else are they going to go?
Well, there's another election coming up.
They're going in the midterms and the thing. But where else are they going to go? If you don't restore the economic viability of the working class and the middle class, and you have to do that by sealing the border, right? So it's not flooded with illegal alien labor. Number 2 is the tariffs to bring manufacturing jobs back. And the third is that working class and middle class people need a tax cut. They need no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and most importantly, no tax on Social Security. That's another $500 billion a year we have to come with. That's why, by the way, it's going to be a huge fight. But the Democrats and progressives had control in 2021. In those first 100 days, and they put up taxing the billionaires, and it didn't even get out of committee. President Trump and the MAGA movement will raise taxes on the wealthy.
All right.
Let's see about that.
Do you believe that when the tariffs cause huge inflation, that the lower middle class are going to reward the Republicans for that? When all the prices go up? Because in 1890, when we had tariffs, the Republicans lost the House and the presidency because of the
You should know this, Josh, better than anybody, because when we raised the tariffs on China in 18, the prices came down. We didn't have any inflation in 19, and we had the highest tariffs we ever put on China.
Hey, how about that dire wolf? We brought back the dire wolf. They brought back a species called the dire wolf that was extinct. Using DNA they had in a fossil.
What could go wrong?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I can't.
Yeah, they're going to do the woolly mammoth next. You know, I think they made a movie about this.
Don't knock it until they, in 100 years, they bring back Bill Maher from a fossil. Look how great that would be.
They made a movie once about, bringing back extinct species and the risks of it. It was called Jurassic Park. Maybe you've all seen it,
I know, but
so maybe we shouldn't screw with science that much, you know?
But it's not a dinosaur, it's a wolf.
Yeah, but
we know what it looked like. Yeah. And Bobby Kennedy says it tastes like chicken. So, all right, that's enough of that.
Why was I link this? I didn't even talk about anything. Good one. Okay. This is the last link I have open. What is this? These allegations are truly disgusting. I spent literally every single hour with Nick during TwitchCon. We even slept in the same beds. There's been no cheating. At all times, I was supporting every possibility for their marriage to be saved. Helped him go through this phase where I could as a friend. There's got to be mistakes on both sides for marriage to fail with no doubt. What is this? Twitch streamer Nick Nimplolum has denied cheating allegations after details emerged from divorce filings with former partner and co-streamer Malina. Oh no. How can he say no cheating when these guys were sleeping together?
All right, so upon returning, oh man,
Shut up. Wait, does he not have his? Oh, there it is. Wait, no. How do you do this? Past broadcasts. Oh.
public. Give me a second. Now I think y'all could watch on YouTube if you wanted. If you wanted to super chat, TTS works, I believe. But if for some strange reason you send a TTS and it don't go through, write it in the chat. Breaking, shit. Breaking.
Is this case filed in federal court or is this just a state thing? Fuck. Is there like an easy system? I know Pacer lets me pull all the federal cases. Is there like an easy system to pull all the state cases, or is that like an impossibly difficult thing to do? Do you have to like... Nobody
Man,
knows.
I
Fuck
hate to
you
do it
guys.
to him, man. What up with y'all on the clip?
You have to go district by district?
Channel. Meat Hooks, what up, baby? How many people we got? Here, I'll just play a song to bring everybody out. They say play this song.
Or I miss you. Or I miss you so much. Or I miss you. Or I miss you.
And actually, I don't got it. I actually got to go into my email. The NMP low stuff, because she just aired this ninja all the way out. And I told you guys from the goddamn beginning, I said, hey, Melena does not want the court case sealed. And people are like, no, she does. I'm like, no, she doesn't. She knows. One, she knows I'm covering it, and she's putting her story in the court doc.
Do you see my dono and choose not to read it? What? Hold on. Hello, it's my birthday, and I would like to point out that at our current pace, I am going to suck all the dicks. That's what I see. Nice. Court listener does not have this. I don't even know what you'd look up for. Like, I don't know what district this is filed in. I have no clue how you would find these documents.
And if she puts the story in the court docs, why would she want it to get sealed? Because she wants the people to see Nick for who he is, not for, all that LARPing shit, all that, oh, I just wanted to have, she earned it, I'm trying to give it to her. All that shit is cap.
Stop the cap.
This is cap. In the harsh reality, or her reality, whether you want to believe it or not, is that he's not being forthcoming with information, and he's trying to say, well, the records are not sealed. So because they're not sealed, I don't want to give you the information. Well, the thing about discovery, you don't file like when you respond to like your financials, you don't send your financials to the court and to her. You send it straight to her lawyer. So when he doesn't send the financials, she has to go to the court and say, look, court, this is what I asked for, and he has not sent anything. And to be honest, to be 100% transparent and unbiased, she has not slipped up and put anything of personal, like, let's say personal, like any like private information in there, per se. Shout out to all my per se ninjas who be like, hey, hear me stop saying per se, fuck y'all. Fuck y'all. So we like 40 people shy of 100 though. Like, I can't get 100. Y'all treat me like I'm a death and shit. Like, what the hell?
You are not a victim here. You have never been a victim here.
I am a victim.
It's at the district right here, literally on the front page.
Like, you're done. Call it, what is it called? Record. 2 times a day. It's like a broken clock, but it's like 2 times a day. But hold on, I got it in my Discord server because I know a lot of people.
353rd Judicial District. Is this what I would look up? Judicial District. Okay, Trellis like has this listed here, but I don't know if they have like court docs available. And Trellis, I tried signing up for this one, but they want like $600 a month, or not a month. I'm sorry, like a year. But you have to do some. Fuck all that bullshit. Are these docs not available publicly anywhere? Do you have to? Where, does Westlaw have cases on it? Like, if you create a Westlaw account, do they actually have it? Or does Westlaw just have, like, legal shit? Okay, fuck all of you. I think it's only cases that are finished. Oh.
Want to know the out? She earned it. I'm trying per se. I literally wasn't like, oh yeah, this is dumb. This is dumb right here. Oh, y'all can't even see it. Y'all can't even see it. Y'all can't even see it. I was gonna roast him for this. I'm like, bro, bro, you got to stream, man. You got to stream. And I understand it's a tough pill to swallow. Pause when you're quote unquote working for someone else. I've been there before. As my divorce was finalized, what was it, a year ago? I mean, she got me for 50,000 cash, which is nothing to Nick, nothing to Nick, but like 120 in retirement. So you know, I do have some experience with divorce, and I just want my custody battle. All that goofy stuff. All right, anyway, shout out to everyone watching on YouTube. Shout out to everyone watching on.
Shout out.
One more thing. Then we're gonna start. I promise you guys. I can't be showing y'all like too much behind the curtain. Whew. Fucking sucks, man. This like messes up my day. no lie.
Is praise at the court common legal language? Yeah, I don't know if it's like required or if it's just like people just say it now because it's so common. But when you say you pray the court, you're asking the court to do something basically. You're requesting the court. You pray that the court provides something.
Like messes up my goddamn day. Like Henry, how's it mess up your day, man? Like I gotta clap some cheeks. I gotta leave the house soon to clap these cheeks, and I gotta go live at the same time. Here we go. Here we go. Sorry, y'all. This is what happened when I hate stream. And I'm just not like one of these. I'm just gonna get on here and read LSF and call it a day. What the hell's going on with this kid, man? Lately I've been deep in Power Ranger drama. So how many we got? 67. Y'all really treat me like I'm a deaf and shit, man. In fact, I think a deaf get better treat me. All right, anyway, let's just go through it. We're not starting here though. We can start. Oh, did I accidentally close?
Why do we care at all about this? It's two really massive streamers. It's a pretty novel and interesting case of how assets would be divided in the case of a streamer breakup. And yeah, I don't know. I think it'll be pretty interesting to see what the court ultimately decides here.
That fucking sucks. She said someone fucked up shit about Imaru. All right, look, man. Y'all know I don't speak Twitch. I don't know the Twitch lingo or anything. But shout out to all 60, 80 y'all on Twitch. We'll start with this one. His motion to seal, request for temporary orders, and then this one is the juiciest one. We'll start with the juicy one. I'll hit y'all with the song, and then we'll start. After the song, we'll start. Let the song rock out.
Nor I miss you. Nor I miss you so much. Nor I miss you. Nor I miss you so much. Nor I miss you. Nor I miss you so much. Nor I miss you so much.
The Rizzler out here.
So much. Nor I miss you. Nor I miss you so much. Nor I miss you. Nor I miss you so much. Nor I miss you. Nor I miss you so much. Nor I miss you. Nor I miss you so much. I've been sitting in a basement for the last 2 weeks playing a video game, ERPing with a girl from Denmark. That's why I'm losing. I'm 32.
Didn't you get a divorce? Did you have a prenup? My marriage was very short term, so it didn't qualify for any weird like asset division stuff.
Nora, I miss you. Simone. Nora, I miss you. Nora, I miss you. Simone. Nora, I miss you. Nora, I miss you. Simone.
All right, we at 91. Let's go. Hey, no, low key though, man. I'm not even going front. If some of this stuff is true, I really be rocking with Melena. And you have to take that with a lot of weight, considering my ex-wife took every penny she could give for me. So naturally, I'm like, hey, I really don't be rocking with women going for every penny they can get in a divorce. But in this instance, you have the rule, and I definitely think Melena is 100% the exception. So just based on what I've seen. Now, if y'all want to like say like Soda should get half, I'm like Ninja. Maybe, I don't know. Y'all niggas be on the Lord, but we are well over 100 people. And let's just go through it. Where we at? And some of this stuff is obviously watermarked and some of it's not. Oh, I need the clip that shows that Nick does control the money. Don't worry about sending it to me. I already got it. Hold on. Like, here we go, right here.
Okay.
Y'all can watch this.
So,
right.
oh my God. By the way, when you said that, you're like, oh, see how far I can push you, and you're like, oh, cost of the mental, whatever. That's not the only thing it costs you.
Where's it at? Where's the timestamp at in this video?
Let me leave again.
Hold on. Where is the
What's interesting, Melena and Adept aren't both basically trying to milk money out of their millionaire boyfriends since she only married for the green card? First of all, I don't think that was true for either of them. I'm pretty sure Melena and Nick were together for like 10 years. They probably genuinely loved each other. Number one. Number two, Melena and Nick were legitimately married. Adept and XQC weren't. And then number three, Melena probably has a much stronger claim to the assets that her and Nick generated together because Melena was an integral part of Nick generating that income. She was a big part of his stream and everything, and she probably forewent an individual career in order to help him acquire that money. I don't think Adept can make any of those arguments that I'm aware of.
Timestamp in this video where he's like, yo, can I buy something? Oh, 45 minutes in, I got it. And she like, Ninja, quit capping, like you don't control all the money. So like, and I don't know Nick, man. I don't know him at all. And I don't have like no ill will toward him, even though he probably don't like view me in the most favorable lights. Probably hates what I do. But hey man, I gotta get up and go to work in the morning. I gotta clap cheese tonight. Go to work, and then I'll pick up my daughter from school, and then take her grandfather out for dinner. We're doing the Cheesesteak Factory tomorrow, so salute to the grandfathers. My ninja is 70 years old, man. Breaking new NMP low court documents. Breaking NMP. Let's put new NMP low divorce.
Holy fuck! Why is this Trellis website so AIDS?
I hate that this shit not watermarked. I hate it. But here's the video right here that like it's an old video from 1 year ago where you're gonna hear Melena actually say like, Ninja, you control the goddamn finances.
Holy shit. I'm not kidding. This is the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life.
I figured out who does it. It's outside Venice Beach in LA.
It's only 18 grand.
But it's sick.
I want this.
Not even shipping.
What's up there?
This is so cool.
Sorry. I'm sure you sorry.
This is how it works.
Oh my God.
Am I allowed to buy something from here?
Yeah, are you gonna carry it around? Wait, asking me like you don't control the money. Holy shit.
Like you don't control the money. Now I played this on my Clips channel. It probably didn't get too many views because most people just think my main channel is my only channel, but I currently do got 3 channels. So anyway, let's start the divorce because this is where it happens. Let me make sure I get everything. So we're gonna go through original petition for divorce. We're gonna go through all the court docs extremely quick. We're probably gonna take our time. What is this? Which court doc is this? Oh, this is his counter. This is her request for temporary orders. This is the motion to seal the court docs that he filed. They had a hearing yesterday. This is the big motion. It should be 2. Froggy, do you have his motion to make certain elements confidential? If not, I have it in my personal. I can whip that joint out. Give me a second. I gotta find my personal email. All right, fine. Is that it? No, here we go right here. Give me a second. Where we at? It's like I gotta go through all my stuff. I'm like, damn, man. There's no rest for y'all, man. I was like, all right, I'm gonna break this story Monday, 10 a.m. We'll do it. And then someone's like, nah, you don't have to break it today. Either you gonna break it or somebody else gonna break it. And I was just like, all right, I'll break it. I'll do it. Here we go. It's in this email train. Here we go. This fool got desperate, right?
Can you wait? So wait, does Trellis not let you download any of the documents submitted to the court? Did I just sign up to this website for no fucking reason?
Desperate, boy. Because here's the thing, right? Motion for confidentiality and protection order. Where are we at? Hold on, guys. I can give y'all like a quick little rundown. Here's the thing, right? I told you, I'm like, when he said, yo, everything is fine, there's no drama, I was like, y'all are smoking crack. Divorce is drama. The fact that she filed and there was no settlement agreement, drama. That means they're not on the same page. The fact that she said the courts needed to bust down the... Why is my Twitch chat not going? Is it just not working? I'm just not chatting. Yes. Hold on. I think my Twitch... Oh, there we go. Sorry, y'all. I'm over here picking up. It's been so long since I did this, but anyway.
I'm guessing he probably contacted the... You can probably contact the district court directly and have them email you files if you pay for them. I'm guessing that's probably what he did. Did he say that? I guess that's probably what happened.
Let's just put this in perspective for you guys. Give me a second. And no. Right here. Let me put this in perspective. Let me work on my storytelling. Like, you need to work on your storytelling. I'm like, God damn, man. God damn. So here's the thing. She filed for divorce. There was no settlement agreement attached to her divorce. There was her asking, literally, Whoops, hold on. Why is this? Oh, this is not my. Oh, this is the confidentiality agreement. All right. All these are public records. All this stuff was obtained legally. Because you might try to reach out to the people at Twitch, like, that's my personal information. I'm like, Ninja, this is public record. But again, I still don't try to like dox anyone or anything like that. Melena didn't dox him in the court docs like some of these people be doing. Look, I got this wrong, guys. It's Soda House. I checked the county records, so miss me with any people. I was like, what was they saying? He's putting out misinformation. As people try to discredit me for this or that. But anyway,
Dude, I don't care enough about this to submit individual requests to the court. But
the house is Soda's, and I got the clip where he was like, "There's no drama." I was like, "Ninja, it's drama, dog." And people were telling me like, "Henry, shut up. You don't know." All this goofy stuff. Remember this? Where is it?
Why is this stuff public record? Why isn't it just between them and the court? Because what stuff that happens in court is a matter of public record. Like, you want the public to be able to see stuff and to have an opinion and stuff, because you don't want there to be secret courts with corrupt stuff happening where nobody knows like what's actually going on, because there could be malfeasance on the side of the state, or like different parties that are shown favoritism. So technically, you want this stuff to be public. Some countries will make it so that stuff isn't public until after the process is finished, but in the United States, it's all pretty transparent. Unless you are, there's some exceptions to this. So like, you can request some stuff to be filed under seal. You can request some identities to be anonymized, just depending on,
Come on, play.
Happy Singles Awareness Day. Well, the good news is, guys, if you are single, Henry Resilient. Thank you, Henry, for the 5 gifted. Thank you for the video, too. And the thing is,
temporary orders are huge, all right? And people are like, wow, what the hell's going on? And then considering that maybe some procedural stuff, then, he pulled his head out of his ass and he realized that, hey, maybe the parties will come to an agreement, considering they've been married since September 25th, 2015, and on the division of property, all right? And people are like, wow, what the hell's going on? And then later, she would request temporary orders. And I was just trying to tell people, I'm like, look, man, these temporary orders are huge. This is a bombshell. Not the fact that she's requesting for temporary orders, the fact that she's talking about what's going on. She accused him of financial abuse, saying he is economic and financial abuse, and failure to permit access to the party's community property accounts for the purpose of insight. Also, she wanted, possession of some home. She wanted money to obtain a car. She didn't want anything to do with Nick's car. She needed money for support. She's like, look, he need to make some support payments and pay, interim attorney fees. Now, he will respond. Normally, he has to respond to this, and he will respond to it. And he's likely going to say she shouldn't get support. I can't imagine his lawyer saying, yeah, agree to this.
So remember, in your initial motion for any case, or not a motion, in your initial filing for a complaint, you don't have to actually have evidence for anything. You just have to state a list of things, and then the first thing that happens is a response from the other side to the complaint. So she could say that he did this, or he owes me that, or whatever, but that's not technically, there's no evidence of any of that at this point in the proceedings, but
some amount of support, but
we're past this at this point.
We don't know. We don't know how he's going to respond. I checked the court records, I think yesterday when I got all the court docs, and it was in there. Now, on the 4th, which was 5 days before the hearing, Nick Palome, okay, he came to the court saying, I want a confidentiality and protective order, because Melena, what you're going to see is she did not want the court record sealed. Even though he said, no, she wants them sealed, she doesn't want any parts of the internet. You're going to see in plain language in black and white her not wanting the court record sealed. Now, coincidentally, I do have the outcome of the hearing that took place on the 9th, and we'll just say that for the end. So he filed a motion for confidentiality and protective order. And the biggest takeaway from this, he's trying to cite some legal case to grant him one, because this is his way. If he was to lose on getting the record sealed, he could say, okay, well, we can't get it sealed from Henry, but we can make some things confidential where we don't have to worry about Melena sharing it or anything like that. Okay. So he cites some court laws, basically saying like the court has a broad discretion, which they do. They can pretty much do anything they want in family court. And also that the specifically responding objects because there's inadequate protections in place to ensure the confidentiality of documents subject to Melena's discovery request, including the request for production and inspection of written interrogatories. Now, written interrogatories are like questions like, did you cheat on me? Did someone send you risque pictures? How much money did you spend on Kachi? How much money, community money, did you spend on Kachi? How much ownership do you have in stake? I mean, not stake, but OTK. Do you have any ownership in Starforge? How much do you get from Starforge? Think questions like that. These are interrogatories. I had to answer 150 of them for my divorce because she was just like, why do you think your ex-wife moved out? Stuff like that. And he also says, whereas the petitioner and respondent are public figures, right? And disclosure of such documents and information requested by Melena stand to invade the privacy of the parties and impose undue burden, harassment, and annoyance. A confidentiality and a protective order is warranted. So anytime you file a motion, it has to be a hearing, but I don't know how Nick's team is going to go. Considering the case, I don't think it's officially sealed, but here I can give y'all a little something early to let you know what happened, because a lot of people are like, well, what happened in trial?
We're at 36 minutes. Wait, hold on. I just want to see what they were requesting initially here. One second.
On getting this, he that parts of the internet.
Okay. So this is a motion for confidentiality and protective order to issue a confidentiality and protective order with respect to the request for production and inspection and written interrogatories served by petitioner Melena Midtoy Palom. With respect to the request for productions on the written interrogatory. Okay. So he's in the discovery portion of a civil case, the other side is allowed to ask you to produce certain documents to verify, claims that the plaintiff side is making. The defense can also request documents from the other side. And what Nick is saying here is like, okay, obviously we're going to produce these documents, but any document that you show to a court, that you produce to a court, has to be filed with the court, and some of this ends up being, most stuff filed with the court is going to be publicly viewable. And the request for confidentiality here, you can file some things under seal, or you can file some things where there's redactions under seal, basically. So you'll see, like in the court docket, I think will be filed, but it'll say the record is sealed, or it'll be like censored heavily so that the public can't view it, even though the court or parties to the case might be able to do it. So it sounds like that's what he's requesting here. If the court shot this down, I'm curious what the rationale is for that. I imagine this probably isn't that uncommon of a request, but...
I answered 150 of them for my divorce because she was just like, figures, and other people like, well, what had this juice on trial on yesterday? So here is what happened. You gotta request the judge's notes to get this juice. All right, for all y'all out here. So on 4/9/2025, the hearing was set on Nick Palome's motion to seal. His lawyer showed up for Nick, and her lawyer showed up for him. No record was taken because counsel have reached an agreement to temporarily seal the case for 90 days and will submit an order on the same.
Okay, so counsel reaching an agreement means that the two parties, the two legal teams were communicating. The two parties were communicating, and they both agreed. I'm curious why it wasn't why they didn't file this jointly then, because I think that the courts will quickly just like approve those motions. Like if there's a joint motion for a 90-day seal, maybe the parties are not communicating well with each other or something. I think if this is what's happening, but
so they're going to draft up an order for the judge to sign to seal the case. All right, so Nick like, well, shit, man, I'm in a clear, dog. Fuck you, well, we'll see. Only time will tell. All right, time will tell for sure. So this was, hey, he's praying that that after the notice and hearing, the court makes the final orders. That the respondent requests that the court issue a confidentiality and protective order. That the discovery undertaken only upon such terms and conditions are set forth in the confidentiality and protective order, and the court grants any further relief. Now, when I went through my divorce, we didn't have to all of my financials were not submitted to the court. It was just submitted to our lawyer. But here we go. So what happened? 8:27 p.m. This is the final hour before the hearing. Milena, TLDR, she is like, I do not want the court records sealed. I don't want them sealed. In fact, they should not be sealed. And you're like, damn, seriously? But further relief.
Wait, did I misunderstand this? Hold on. Hearing set on respondent's motion. No record taken. Counsel have reached an agreement to temporarily seal the case for 90 days and will submit an order to do the same. Do they change their mind? Or am I misunderstanding this? So the hearing is set for the respondent's motion to seal. So the respondent is Nick because he's responding to the initial complaint. Petitioner. Counsel have reached an agreement to temporarily seal the case for 90 days and will submit an order on same. My assumption would be that the counsel have reached an agreement. The counsel to both parties have reached an agreement, but then they changed their mind, or
so they're going to draft up. We'll see. After the notice and hearing, the conditions are set forth in the confidentiality. It was just submitted to our lawyer. But here we go. So what happened? 8:27 p.m. This is the final hour before the hearing. Milena, TLDR, she is like, I do not want the court records sealed. I don't want them sealed. In fact, they should not be sealed. And you're like, damn, seriously? Yeah, they should not be sealed. You're like, oh my God. Milena, are you sure you want to do this? And she's like, yes, don't seal the court records. So you're like, oh, okay, whatever. So, relevant background. Let's just go through it just for, shits and giggles. They were married September 25th, 2025. Nick Palome is an online streamer. He makes content. We know this. He during the party's marriage.
I don't know why she wants them public, though. It leaves so much of Nick's information that he hasn't let out to the public. He hides stream when going to his house. There's a way. That's a good question. I can't think of a reading besides a negative one. And the answer would be, one, you can't be sued for what you put in a lawsuit. So one of the benefits for Milena in having none of the records sealed is she can put whatever she wants in the lawsuit, whatever accusations she wants, whatever attach whatever affidavits, whatever, and she can't be sued because it's part of the lawsuit. You can't sue people for filing lawsuits against you. You can't sue people for including something in a lawsuit. So by having the stuff public, well, now it's public record. She can put what she wants, and she doesn't have to worry about any sort of legal retaliation from Nick for whatever comes out. Could be one reason. Another reason might just be that she feels like psychologically it applies pressure to him to settle the case more favorably to her, or applies pressure to him to acquiesce to some other kind of demand, maybe because he knows that his stuff is going to be dragged out. Maybe if I had to guess, those would be the two reasons why you would oppose a motion to seal here. That's the only thing I can think of for those two. I can't think of anything that's not as, I guess, like malicious. That sounds malicious, but I mean, you're trying to win a case, I guess, right?
Marriage, Nick made the parties' relationship public and often publish shared videos on involving both parties across various platforms. We know this to be true. January 16th, she filed for divorce.
Oh, I guess actually, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of this from the respondent's perspective. From the plaintiff's perspective, it could also be a more favorable reading would be Milena feels like Nick has not been forthcoming or honest publicly about the things that he said about this case. So having things filed publicly allows or it forces him to not talk shit about her, right? Or it might force him to be more honest publicly about things that she's saying, so he can't lie publicly and defame her or attack her reputation or whatever. Maybe you could read it in that way as well, you know?
February 3rd, his answer, which we already went over. February 18th, he filed a motion to seal. And this is where it starts to get juicy out the gate.
Okay, so she filed her original petition on Jan 16th. He filed a response. I believe you have 21 days to file this. And so he filed a response on the 3rd. Then he files a motion to seal the records. And then on the 24th, she files an amended petition for divorce. And then she requests some kind of temporary order. Continues to protect the privacy of the parties and any sensitive information.
February 24th, Melina filed her first amendment petition and request for temporary orders. Again, Melina continued to protect the privacy of the parties and any sensitive information concerning either of the parties' business interests, despite grave concerns she has about actions taken by Nick and actions taken to diminish, as in destroy value, of the community estate. And by community estate, his Twitch channel is part of the community estate. His YouTube channel is part of the community estate. So she is accusing him, his OTK shares, as when his OTK put out any new content, you have to think about that. I know they're going through some changes, but all of that is a factor. But at the end of the day, could he be doing it? Maybe. Is it hard to prove? Extremely. But it is what it is. Like if you're going through a divorce, if I'm Nick, no, we're not putting out no OTK content because OTK is going to get evaluated. And he is going to want OTK to come back.
Yes, I see our good friend Henry is in, or was in YouTube chat. I saw. Yeah, okay.
Worth his shit, the company overall to come back worth the least amount of money. And what's going to end up happening is he's going to have to evaluate it. She's going to have to evaluate it. And they're going to have to agree in the middle or let the courts decide. And the last thing you want to do is let the courts decide, especially after you're about to read her story. So on March 6th, this is new information. She requested written interrogatories and production and inspection of documents to Nick. She's like, hey, Ninja, answer these questions. Run me my documents. That's what it is. Hey, bro, you going live and not telling Ninja? Well, it's a Twitch stream. It's a Twitch stream. But I appreciate the support, man. Thank you so much.
Henry, thank you so much.
Appreciate you, dog.
Get your money up, not your funny up.
All right. So March 6th, she's like, I sent the interrogatories. And on April 4th, Nick filed a motion for a confidentiality and protective order. On April 8th, right, Nicholas served his response to requests for disclosures, objections to the petitioner's written interrogatories, which is standard. He just was like, objection, objection, objection. I'm not providing you shit. And he's going to do it under the guise of he doesn't want the documents getting out. Request for reduction and inspection. Notably, Nicholas only lodged objections and failed to provide any substantial response to the interrogatories and failed to provide any documents in response to production. All right, which is going to lead to her motion to compel for discovery, which you're going to see momentarily. All right. So at this time, Melina has refrained from public finding details regarding the conduct of Nicholas, but the conduct will be outlined in any future hearings on Nicholas' request to seal the file and restrict access. In other words, she's saying, look, I've been keeping...
Ooh. So ordinarily, your initial disclosures for stuff that you might have available to discovery and then requests you're making the other party, I think that those aren't ordinarily filed with the court. That's only filed if somebody starts like not responding or something. If you're following my fun court case, the other law firm fucked up and they did a lot of their filings publicly initially before striking them and then redoing it. But so it sounds like Melena's law firm, they served these requests for disclosures. Those are served directly to the party. It's not filed with the court. But it sounds like they're unhappy with the response they got from Nick's law firm or Nick's legal representation, and now they're saying, okay, hold on, we're not filing anything publicly with the court. We haven't exposed anything or revealed anything. We sent you guys the information that we want, and your response to us was basically saying, we don't have to comply with this. This is why we don't, we object to this. We don't think that we have to disclose this. And so then at this time, Elena's refrained from public filing details regarding the conduct of Nicholas, but the conduct will be outlined in any future hearing on Nicholas's request to seal the file and restrict public access. Okay, so Elena's applying pressure in the court case here, but yeah.
No. Request for reduction and inspection. Notably, Nicholas only lodged objections and failed to provide any substantial response to the interrogatories and failed to provide any documents in response to production. All right, which is going to lead to her motion to compel for discovery, which you're going to see momentarily. All right. So at this time, Elena has refrained from public finding details regarding the conduct of Nicholas, but the conduct will be outlined in any future hearings on Nicholas' request to seal the file and restrict access. In other words, she's saying, look, I've been keeping these public filings pretty tame and saving all the juice for the hearings. I am well aware that Henry is covering this. I am well aware that there's a lot of interest in the Twitch community and YouTube community regarding our divorce. So because their interest, I don't even have to be told, I'm leaving certain things out. But she's about to just let a bomb drop. She's about to drop a bomb in here because, you know, she's trying to compel the court to, like, basically say, look, he's not acting right. Let's continue. So the legal authority, this is interesting. This is how you know that all that, oh, she doesn't want the record, you know, she doesn't want any drama or anything. Yeah, she doesn't want to make a public statement, but she's making a public statement within the court documents. And I knew this when she filed for temporary orders. I was like, okay, she want to air this fool out. She's intentionally doing this. And once it got picked up, she's like, okay, Henry is going to be my blowhorn, and I'll send all messages through Henry. She sent me some smoke signals. I saw him from Norway. I was like, okay, Melina, I got the assignment. I'm about to do your bid. Seal the court records is not appropriate vehicle.
So anytime you're filing any of these motions or requests, it's very common you have to put your debate support in your request, right? Like, this is the legal authority by which we do it. You either cite to other cases or you cite to rules of civil procedure or whatever, and then you say under this rule, you know, this is appropriate or this is inappropriate when you're arguing for or against a particular motion or whatever.
In a family law matter, his motion orders. Here we go, here. So he basically said the same thing. He came out the gate. Hold on, I think it's, where is it at? That's our temporary orders. Here we go, here. This is out of the state and find this case, and he filed this case are not subject to the standards for sealing records. So she's like, look, Ninja, you ain't supposed to be sealing this shit. Like, who you trying to fool trying to seal the records, okay? So look, I'm not about to go through all this googly gop, but
motions to court spread by the respondent, which was put this action originally arising in the 6 million code of the documents filed in this case are not subject to the standards for sealing court records set forth in rules.
Like, who you trying to fool are typically not sealed. You want to have that judiciary scrutiny to make sure the judge is on the up and up. Should the judge have to rule on this, and let's just say the judge gives Nick 71 to have that. So look, I'm not about to go through all this googly gop, but just know that court records are typically not sealed. You want to have that judiciary scrutiny to make sure the judge is on the up and up. Should the judge have to rule on this, and let's just say the judge.
Well, I would be careful here unless I'm misunderstanding something or I'm just incorrect here. If a record is sealed, that just means that the public can't have access to that record, but the judge would still have access to that record. I believe that's the case. I don't think you seal it from the judge, because in that case, I don't know why you would even bother filing it with the court if it was sealed from the judge as well. So,
judge gives Nick 70% of the assets. You're going to want to see that, and people are going to be like, okay, we can't have this judge. He hates women, or whatever the case, and he's giving me all this shit. You kind of want the judge to be fair. We don't need to go.
Is Henry resilient? Someone who works in law? What are his qualifications? I think he went through a divorce and he covered it, and he was involved in reading his documents and everything. So now he just covers drama cases online.
Go through all this legislature. A specific and serious and substantial interest in clearly outweighs the presumption of openness. This is what the courts need to be. Oh snap! Somebody who. Thank you for the prime sub.
When it's sealed, no one can look at it. Is that true? Even the judge has. What's the point of even filing the record then? Can a judge view a sealed court submission? I think judges can. I believe so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they can.
Appreciate you. Just talk. Appreciate the prime sub. Thank you. This presumption of openness, any probable adverse effect that sealing will have upon the general public for health and safety. Basically, if this case is open, there's no issues with it. So it should stay open for the most part. But B, no less restrictive means than sealing records will adequately and effectively protect the specific interest asserted. To make sure I'm reading this right. All right, anyway, let's get to her story. Emphasis added, if a record does not show a specific serious or substantial interest, which clearly outweighs the presumption of openness, we must find that the trial court abused its discretion in sealing the court will adequately protect the specific interest asserted. We don't even care about this. All right, let's get into why she doesn't want the record sealed. This is the juice. This is the part that get ready to clip it for whatever platform. On or about June 24th, 2020, Melina and Nicholas traveled to Spain to care for her ailing mother who was battling cancer. We know this to be a true. Well, now we get some further corroboration that yes, the mother is sick. Okay, mom is sick, and they went there to cover for her. All right. While in Spain waiting for treatment, Melina's mother and Nicholas was unsatisfied with the party's online content, goddamn, and decided to travel to Amsterdam to a streamer convention and resided with other streamers against Melina's will. So she like, look, bro, we out here to take care of our mom, or well, their mom, the mom-in-laws. And Nick like, hey, I gotta get this content. I don't know about you, but I hope your mom get better, but I gotta go. I gotta go, Ninja. You like, damn. So she like, no, stay with me. He was like, nope. No, I already charted a jet. I'll catch up with you though. Don't worry. Be strong. Stay strong. All right. So upon returning, Melina found suspicious photos of another woman and message between another woman and Nicholas on Nicholas' phone. Damn, she went through his phone. God damn, shawty. Shortly thereafter, Melina deactivated all social media accounts and asked Nicholas for a divorce. Damn. Look, man, it is an evil world out here, man. I'll be trying to tell y'all, man. But
it's an evil world we live in.
And like emotional cheating is still cheating. Now she never said he cheating in divorce docs, but we do have, I don't know, is this what y'all want me to show? Like this clip? He ain't gripping it.
How?
Ever.
No.
He ain't you. Was deposited into an account held in Nicholas too, as did provide some financial support to Melina for her mother's cancer treatment. It was funds that she also contributed to, as any income she earned as a YouTube editor was deposited into an account held in Nicholas' name. God. Damn, man. Jesus. Now, is this the financial abuse that she's alleging? I don't know. And honestly, I haven't read the entire document, to be honest. But there you have it. They're in Spain. Retreat mom. Nick says, all right, I got to get out of here. He goes to Amsterdam. She comes home. She found suspicious photos of another woman. Like, were they naked photos? Like, what were they? Were they risque photos? Shit, who was the woman? Now, like, she could have been messy. If this was Adept would have put the woman's name, like, another Twitch streamer, her name is such and such, and that's who it was. Adept would have been messy as hell. But look at Melina, still giving not only Nick grace, but the woman grace, and not exposing the woman that pictures that she saw in her husband's fucking phone. So think about that, right? Like, people don't think about that. Like, she could have been messy. She could have put it in here. She know I'm gonna get the court docs. She know that it's gonna be live. She could have did that. So whoever that woman is that sent Nick those suspicious photos, you better thank Melina for not outing your ass, because he got this rabbit ass fan group. They hate me too, but so I'll take the hit. I don't mind the hate threads. There's gonna be another hate thread, man. A fucking live stream film, man. Look at the white comments, man. Just be like, man. Shut up, bitch. Anyway, let's do it like this. So during this time, Nicholas continued to publish videos and content on his platforms about the party's relationship, often alluding to being abandoned by Melina in hopes of gaining public sympathy by spinning fault on her. This is true.
That's a truthful statement.
This is a truthful statement. I did see like him post like, oh, Melina thought I would die without her, so did my mom.
Crazy soundboard.
I'm still alive. I'm still thriving. I saw that shit. I was like, damn, man, Nick is really cold-blooded out here. He is cold-blooded. I was like, Jesus. Where? Let me see if I can find it. Like it was like this, right? Right here. That's one of them. That's two. Like he was cooking. I was like, okay, Nick. Okay, Nick. This is how you really feel. He's like, yeah, man. Fuck you, people that saw this or not. These bitch. Damn, you're not lying though. Decided 20. This is I guess she's not lab with every K razor. I'm busy. Melina and my mom. Here. Melina and my mom thought I'd die without them. Notably, either party had filed for divorce. So anyway, hey man, he feeling himself. I love to see a man with a little bit of confidence. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, notably, either party had filed for divorce or taken any steps towards finalizing any sort of dissolution. It is also necessary to emphasize Melina did not publish or share videos during this time as she was caring for her mother or respond to comments or statements Nicholas has made public and remain without access to community funds. This is where it's like, dog, we married. He like, look, hey, I put some money in that account of yours. She like, Ninja, you put some money in that account? That's your account. That ain't my account. No, it's our account, baby. She like, Ninja, no. Ninja, no. I gotta go to the courts. All right. Throughout the party's marriage, Nicholas has maintained almost exclusive control.
Based on everything we've seen so far, it seems like Nick is a piece of shit, right? So there's like okay, very limited legal experience, okay? So take everything I say with a grain of salt, okay? But I think that Nick is, just based on a little bit I've seen, Nick is probably pretty fucked. However, there's two things to keep in mind. One has to do with the filings themselves, and the other has to do with like the meta of filing. So one, anybody can put anything into a complaint. Anything can put anything into motion. We're not like having hearings on evidence right now. We're not like countering and submitting exhibits and all this. Okay, so technically, Melina could be lying through all of this right now. She could just be talking shit, and there's more details, there's more information that Nick could respond to. However, it feels like, I don't know if Nick hired a bad law firm, or I don't know if it is extremely contentious between the two parties, but the fact that Melina did a court filing that said, hey, you're not sealing shit, and if we start doing more public filings, shit is going to get messy, just letting you know. That means that while that's happening, the two parties should be communicating outside the court to figure out like what's going on, because it's obviously not in Nick's interest necessarily for this to be publicly filed, right? So then it seems like what's happening is Melina's side is either making too big of a demand that Nick's not willing to compromise on. So they're either asking for too much money or a division of assets that Nick is not agreeable to, or for some reason there's been a breakdown of communication such that I guess Nick's side is either really confident that he doesn't give a fuck about these filings, or he feels like he can respond to them all, with substance, or the more interesting thing is that they gave them warning that these types of things would be filed, and that things are still being filed. So yeah. So my guess would be this is an extremely contentious thing. I mean, obviously, from what we read right now, from what's been filed, it seems like Melina's side has strong arguments, maybe. Although I don't know how you decide like shared assets and everything in a divorce. That's a whole other like divorce court, and the laws are going to be state specific. And like for instance, if it's an at-fault divorce, I think in some states, I think that you can get more than if it's like a mutually agreed upon divorce. Like if there's like an at-fault divorce, then like in some states you might forgo any assets because it's your fault. You cheated on somebody. You can't cheat on them and take half their money or whatever. But I don't know for Texas if that's how it goes here or not. I'm not sure. So
over the party's finances and unilateral decision-making on spending and the distribution of funds. Now, we know this, I guess, to be true if we go back to this clip where I guess Nick is talking about buying something super duper expensive. And he's like, oh, I don't control the funds. She's like, Ninja, you control the money. Quit capping. And what he does is...
Henry Resilient says, Melina has no idea what she can get because Nick has not provided any financial statements. That might be true, but more specifically, Melina probably knows in her mind. She probably has some idea of what she should be getting, but Nick is not making any of that available to her side, so she can't submit that as evidence to the court, or Nick is lying and is submitting like not enough statements. So like you can have an idea or a number in mind, but remember when it comes to court, it's you have to submit stuff for a judge to evaluate. You can't just say, well, trust me on this. And so if Nick is not making his financial records available and Melina doesn't have access to them anymore, then yeah, she's going to be fighting over discovery related stuff for this. Yeah.
This is the cat for the audience, you know.
This is so cool. Sorry.
And Henry said, in Texas, you can get more than half because of the abuse claim, the financial abuse claim. Yeah, that's my guess is going to be the reason why, unless it's an amateur law firm, the reason why they're detailing things like financial abuse or this type of like you're not sharing as much money as you should be with your wife, and then things of infidelity is that all of these arguments, I'm guessing, probably go towards favoring a greater division of assets towards Melina, is my guess, is why they're making these arguments, basically.
Ninja, you control the money. Quit capping. And what he does is the cat for the audience, you know.
This is so cool. Sorry. Sorry. Oh my god. Am I allowed to buy something from here? Yeah, are you gonna carry it around? What are you asking me? Like you don't control the money. Holy shit. What was this?
Hey, by Melina had to be first requested and then approved by Nick. This is dated October 4th, 2023. So I imagine it's probably always been like that. Any spending by Melina had to be first requested and then approved by Nick. The majority of the financial accounts are in Nicholas' name, even though the parties made video content online together and profit from the same. Since the party separation, Nicholas has requested that Melina sign a non-disclosure agreement, release a joint statement regarding their separation and treatment, and threaten to diminish the value of the community estate and any business's interest if Melina is unwilling to accept the terms for the dissolution of the estate. This is like, god damn. God damn. What? What?
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
I know you looking at this and you're like, holy shit. Is this true? Did he really threaten her? Like, look, bitch, you gonna sign this NDA? Or I'm not gonna stream anymore. I'm not gonna post videos on YouTube anymore. OTK not putting out content anymore. I'm not gonna invest anymore. You know, shit, we got the tariffs happening. I know he loved that the stock market is crashed. He's trying to get that evaluation as quick as possible. Like, look, bitch, I only got this much in holding Trump and ruin the country and shit. Like, what am I supposed to do? He's like, I need to get that evaluation before the stock market returns. He's like, look, my Bitcoin is down, my IRA is down, like shit, everything's down, man.
So this is a big problem some people have made when people like to be very public about court cases where they're filed is if you're making huge requests like this before like legal teams are communicating with each other or before you've actually filed a complaint or anything like that, these types of things I think can be used against you. Like I don't think you can use something against somebody when you're when your legal counsel are conferring with each other to try to like sort something out. But if you haven't filed anything yet and there's no legal people involved yet, and you're saying like, hey, I need you to sign this, or hey, I'm gonna do this or whatever. Well, now this can be used against you because you're doing this. There's no court case filed at all. It seems a little either, I don't know, extortionary or bullying or financial abuse or anything like that, especially if they're separated, but if they haven't even gotten divorced yet. I don't know where the distinction is drawn here between like the legal aspect of like they are divorced versus separated, like if she still has an entitlement to his funds. But
I'm broke. She like, nah, nigga. I mean, you think she calling the word? Probably not, right? Shout out to Melina. So damn. Today, Nicholas continues to control the majority of the party's community estate without any transparency to Melina, as evidenced by his failure to provide any documentation in response to discovery. Damn, son. Damn. She like, look, he's doing all this under the guise of not, whatchamacallit, of not giving me any transparency. You know, that $14,000 purse I told you, like, he spent her money on it. Lastly, Melina has requested the party schedule mediation in lieu of a court hearing to attempt to resolve their disputes. Melina continues to try to keep matters reasonably confidential while preserving her rights, including her right concerning potential third parties, which I guess is me and shit, like, this Henry guy, and the right of openness. Again, Melina has refrained from public filing details regarding the conduct of Nicholas, but the conduct will be outlined in the hearing on Nicholas' request to seal the file and restrict public access.
Unless I'm missing anything, like, this seems like pretty true. Melina's legal side seems to have been pretty responsible in their filings, and it seems like they're attempting to do some sort of mediation, but Nick's law firm, their response has either been like insufficient, they're not, well, the fact that they, I guess, didn't even respond well to the discovery requests means that their Melina side is going to start to amp up the pressure publicly, yeah.
Now, we know that conduct didn't get outlined because, as I showed you already, they agreed to seal it for 90 days because he likely was going to lose. In all honesty, he probably was going to lose.
if they seal the records too, it allows Nick's side to play kind of a lot more games in terms of like endlessly delaying discovery, you know, endlessly challenging different types of requests. Like at that point, Nick essentially has no pressure on him to really move. They can drag this out for as long as whatever. And Melena might be at a big disadvantage here because I'm curious. I imagine Melena has a green card, but does she still live in the United States or did she go back to, it's Norway, right? Because if she goes back to Norway, like internationally, like, this becomes so much more burdensome and annoying for her as well. So
I understand he may be a celebrity out here, like to, you know, the people online, but this fool, he, like even Tiger Woods' lawsuit was like out in the open. You know, all these celebrities divorced, even Tom Brady's divorce was like pretty public. But you know, as a parent, Nicholas' request to seal the record is another avenue to silence Melena, all while he continues to make videos and content online, evidencing his spending, gambling trips, and flaunting his new paramour. His paramour. Hey, she cooking. Let him cook. We are not done yet. We still have to go over her discovery. So this is like the, as I scroll down, I mean, she's obviously praying to the court that they consider foregoing. Like here, I need y'all to see this. I need y'all to see this. So, you know, Melena prays that the court consider the foregoing and deny his motion to seal the court record.
Can anyone blame him? He's on the precipice of losing half his shit, let's be real. It sounds very cold and it sounds very cruel, but marriage is in a lot of ways it's like a business. It really is. It's like a business partnership. And legally it's almost viewed that way in a lot of respects as well. So while it looks sad that Nick might be losing a decent chunk of change, what's already happened is there was a business that Nick and Melena were both 50% owners in, and Melena got ejected from that business without having her equity being cashed out. So she just got 50% of her equity seized from their joint business, from their marriage, and now she's basically broke. So you can say that it feels bad on Nick's end, and it will for sure. Like I agree, obviously, losing any amount of money is going to feel bad, especially if you're looking at like a huge percentage of your wealth. But also consider from Melena's side, if she spent however many years, a decade of her life, also building towards this business, to get kicked out of that business and not be able to cash out any equity, and to just be literally, imagine going from all of this to just being broke, probably is also a really bad feeling, you know?
So all of that, she doesn't want people to know shit. That shit's out the window. That shit's going, ring the bell on that. But at the same time, in 90 days, she's like, look, we agreed to seal it for 90 days. She agreed to seal it for 90 days because chances are
he already agreed to give half, if I'm not mistaken. That doesn't mean anything. You need way more information when you say give half. Imagine I've had a partner, and imagine over the past 10 years, imagine we earn $1 million per year, and every single year I spend $700,000 to $800,000 and they spend $50,000 on themselves. Imagine we do that for 10 years, and at the end of the 10 years, let's say that like the business has accumulated about $500,000 in cash and it's just sitting there, and then we get divorced. And I go, well, I'll give her $250K. I'm giving her half. Well, not really. No, you've been spending way more out of that business than she has. And if you're both 50% contributors and you've accrued, or you've gotten to enjoy, you know, $8 million of consumption while she's enjoyed like $2 million of consumption, dividing whatever you have in a cash account at the end is not really an equitable split in terms of, you know, the overall earnings of the business.
He was going to lose. And that's why he threw the Hail Mary following his confidentiality, whatchamacallit. And like one thing about
how do you measure involvement in building the business marriage aspect? How do you quantify that? I mean, you quantify it in several ways. If the woman is quitting a job, I mean, like you can quantify a little bit in that way. She used to earn X amount of money and now she doesn't earn anything. You can quantify it in terms of how much they participate in the business. So for instance, for people like Adept, I think you have a really hard time arguing for anything there. I don't think Adept ever helped XQC stream that much, if at all. But for Melena, it's a lot more complicated because Melena and Nick, my understanding is they dual streamed almost all the time. And not only were there times where they were both streaming together, there were a lot of times where they were both streaming only on Nick's stream, right? And I think Melena was a reasonably popular streamer on her own. Like if she was streaming with other people, but she still had her stream up, whereas Adept never had any viewership. Melena, like we wouldn't even say theoretically, she sacrificed building a solo career to build a joint career with Nick. So whatever career Nick has now, there's some decent percentage of it that's due to Melena's contribution. So she should be cashed out for that, especially if she hasn't been financially compensated equitably for it over the building of that career, you know?
And that's why he threw the Hail Mary following his confidentiality, whatchamacallit. And like one thing about the confidentiality is he wanted to protect two things about his confidentiality. I'll show you what he wanted to protect.
Oh, actually, yeah. I'm thinking of them dual streaming because he had his webcam in the corner of the stream, but that wasn't even with her stream, right? That was just her on Nick's stream, right? Were there any issues with you and Melena over this? No, because we were never like on each other's streams that much. Melena did all of her stream stuff and then I did all of my stream stuff. I mean, if it would have ever come to some kind of like fight over that, I would have argued that there were ways that I tried to help her on her stream stuff, and yeah, I don't think. But we were also married for a shorter amount of time, so, and we don't have like any joint assets, no children, nothing like that. So
I'm not trying to show you his lawyer's information, all right? It's two things he wanted to protect. It's this right here. Right here.
The woman that I was married to, Melina, is different than this Molina. Okay, my Melina was Swedish. This Molina is Norwegian. Different people.
Low Productions LLC and OTK Media LLC. Now I did look up NMP Low Productions LLC, and I was surprised that there's. It looks to be. Hold on, I got the picture of it. I'm not gonna post it because it's not edited in. I'm not trying to like dox anything. It does have 3 off-government requests. You're getting this, and you get to see a divorce. And I think he is in a privileged position to talk about some things. If whatchamacallit. And what is this? Here we go. What is this? Did Henry post it?
Oh, is that true? I didn't even know that. NMP LOL stands for Nick Molina Productions. I didn't know that. Jeez.
Or someone else like, here's the thing, man. I had the court docs, and I was gonna make a video so I can get my 100,000 views, but I'm probably not. Wonder if old boy was fast enough. Damn, he had a 12-hour window to get that impressive. Look, man. Look. Oh man. Look, he's reading out. Damn, the docs and only 171 viewers for Henry. I'll take that as my own personal fall off. Damn, Nick, fucking always up. He had a 12-hour window to get that impressive.
Oh, Nick Molina Pollum. Gotcha.
Like I said, I wanted to do the video.
Oh wait, it stands for Nick motherfucking Pollum. No, the M is his middle name. Oh, okay, I have no idea. No.
Hey Nick, keep typing for me, Nick. We'll keep updating you guys what he says streaming. Hey, but I just easy. All right, she did not give him that. Look, man, let me peruse through this but y'all about to see it. Like, this is 92 pages. It's gonna go by quick. I don't have time to break down everything for you guys. So anyway, this is Melina Palom's motion to compel discovery. Now, motion to compel is when someone is not cooperating. My ex-wife didn't want to give up the financials. She eventually did, but I had to actually subpoena hers, and maybe Melina gonna have to subpoena it. But here's the hard part, guys. If Nick never told her what he owns, she has no idea what financial institutions to subpoena. So if he kept her in the dark for 10 years about his finances, she well, where do I go? I don't know. But here's the thing. If she finds out that he was not forthcoming with all of their community assets, and she can prove that he withheld it, she can go back to the courts, reopen the divorce, and the courts will force him to literally transfer 100% of whatever he did not divulge to her ownership. So if he sells some shit, like you see Nick sell $1 million for Bitcoin, and she find, Coffeezilla find that shit oh, you saw it on the blockchain, Nick. You never told me when you had $1 million in Bitcoin. The judge could be hey, run her that shit expeditiously.
You also, and I want to be careful because I think sometimes family courts or divorce law can be special or can be different. If Melina can produce something relating to the wealth that they had, and he's either unable or unwilling to produce it, and it's something like, how can you not have a bank record? Everything is online these days. The other side could actually sanction them for not cooperating with discovery, right? If you're saying, oh, you don't have access to this, oh, you can't produce this thing. Well, in that case, we're going to tell the jury if this goes to trial, or the judge if it's a bench trial, we're going to tell them that they're allowed to interpret that in a disfavorable manner. This is supposed to prevent people from just destroying or shredding evidence for a civil case, because in civil court, if you just destroy the evidence, go, oh, you can't hold me responsible for anything, fuck you, then the judge is allowed to, assuming the other side sanctions the other side, right, or files for it, the judge can say, okay, well, the jury is allowed to interpret that, in a disfavorable manner if that's what the other side, wants.
So anyway, let's get to her discovery. So, they go through the divorce. She put in her request for disclosures. He literally objected to everything. This is exactly what my ex-wife would. I was like, bitch, I didn't give up everything. Why you not doing it? She was hiding money. That's all good. They all do. They all do. She want to rob me and hide her money. Anyway, on April 8th, Nick Palome had a telephone conference conferring regarding the deficiencies in the discovery responses. That conversation was likely recorded too. Nick Palome's production remains incomplete and fails to include documents solely in his possession of information that Melina does not have access to. Objections were made to every request.
Hold on, let me use the restroom 1 sec.
Minimal responses and zero documentation actually provided. So he just stonewalled her. He bitch, I'm not giving you nothing. Nada. Oh, this is fucked up, man. It's fucked up. Hey, why you do her like this, man? Anyway, Melina Palome's responses to blah, blah, blah. Let's just get down to what she was asking for. You guys don't care about what a deficiently legal argument is. Nick Palome's incomplete responses to discovery and avoidance of complying with Texas rules for deposition. Damn, she wanted to pose this into too.
Are there discovery tools Melina's side can engage in, like hiring forensic accountants or subpoenas? Yeah, you can start subpoenaing people, but my guess is there's going to be a penalty for that. If you're subpoenaing people and getting stuff that the other side didn't turn over in discovery, then there's probably going to be punishments for the other side for that.
I mean, the deposition I would pay like $10,000 for a DEPS. I would pay $10,000 for a DEPS deposition. I know it's recorded. I know XQC got it. But do you think you need $10,000 from me? No. Anyway, let's just get down to what she was asking for. All right. Banking statements. This is a must. Hey, Ninja, run me the banking statements. Documents pertaining to the statements prepared by the bank, blah, 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 are held in the name of Nick Palome and or Melina Palome, are held in the name of the business entity which Nick owns, Melina owns, had interest control of. Don't tell me my computer freezing. Don't tell me. All right. I was like, look, man, I might have to go Starforge after this, man. Anyway. Oh, snap. Shout out to my man, Jamal Breezy. Stay resilient, man. Appreciate you, dog. Appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. You know what I'm saying? Every penny counts.
Stay resilient.
You know what I'm saying?
Stay resilient, bitch.
Appreciate that. Anyway, let's continue. So check images. Damn. Check image.
Why does it seem like literally only the Henry guy get access to these documents? If you don't know how to navigate any of the legal system at all, it could be annoying. Like sometimes it's not just a simple Google search. Like my guess is for this in particular, you have to go to the county's website or the district's website, and then there's probably a form where you fill it in and enter a bunch of information, and then request for a particular case the documents, and then you pay a fee, and then they probably email it to you once the clerk sees the request. And most people aren't willing to go through that. I'm not willing to go through that.
And just showing copies of all written checks from the accounts. Damn, she want all written checks. Cancel checks, deposit slips, other cancel items. It's a roundabout way. She's literally, someone's about to take a, when you see these deficiencies, it's just saying, hey, look, he failed to provide any documents, financial statements. She run me the financial statements, notes and other accounts receivable. Damn, I saw something juicy in here. Bartering records. This looks like standard. Currency, digital money, and electric money. Ooh, did you ever tell you own some Bitcoin? Because it's not limited, to cryptocurrency, virtual currency, e-cash, electric money in here. Bartering records, run me the financial statements.
Wait, hold on. He just didn't respond to any of this? I'm sorry, I'm just seeing the deficiencies. Has wholly failed to produce any documents responsive to this request. Oh, he's just not providing anything. Okay.
Everything counts.
Stay resilient.
You know what I'm saying?
Stay resilient, bitch.
From roundabout way, she's literally, someone's about to take a statement.
On any of this?
Notes and other.
Did that say the same thing? A true copy of any financial report.
Look, he failed to provide any documents. Something juicy in here. Bartering records, tell you own some Bitcoin.
Oh, Jesus. They said, fuck you. Jesus. Okay.
Did you get in on it? Records of investments. This is the most important one. Stock options, retirement. And she actually, hey, IRA. Oh, man. SEP, Kiog, retirement, 401k. You know you got that money. I know you was trolling me about the NVIDIA, but don't be a fool. He definitely owns some of NVIDIA. How much? That's the real question. Who was trying to message me? Dude, I'm not covering this Emery story. This could be a big story for you. The girl, oh, man. I gotta view, these people in Paracord be trying me. They cover this big Emery story. I look at the Emery story, I be like, bruh, you cooked. I gotta investigate that. I gotta be 1,000% sure. So the retirement, securities and brokerage, house accounts, earnings records, the complete employment. Woo. Since January, given some any company 5 years, interest income from 1099s. Damn, dividend income. She want that 1099D, dog. Deductions with HOE. Get a copy. The reason why you ask for education is to prove a person is smart for support reasons. That's all it is. I need education. Source of income. This is about it. You see business expense records.
My guess is there's just standard boilerplate, like when you're doing discovery on divorce cases, it's just like, hey, just request all this shit. Like it's probably a boilerplate that you send in. And I'm sure that Nick would say, I have nothing to respond to this, whether I don't have this thing would be fine. But it sounds like his legal team, they just completely ignored all the discovery requests whatsoever. But I don't know why.
Employment records, closely held corporations and unincorporated business entities. Now remember, she has one of the best family divorce lawyers in Texas. So she's probably going to have the best forensic accountant.
Does Nick not have a good lawyer, or I didn't check any of the names on this?
And they're probably what they're going to do is run his social security number through some type of software in any account.
I don't understand why Nick wouldn't be willing to just settle this for whatever she wants behind closed doors. He's set for life, even if she takes every cent he currently has. No, probably not. Set for life? I don't know how much money he has or how much money he's made. I mean, the guess is just that she was asking for more than what he was willing to give, and he feels, in his personal feelings, he thinks that if he fights it in court, he can end up settling for or being compelled to pay less than what she was asking for. But I don't think we know what her initial requests were for, so we don't know anything about whether he's being reasonable or unreasonable, right? There's a world where we can say that, she was asking for 99% of all of his money and a whole bunch of back pay or something in a way that was really unreasonable. And that could be the case, right? Or there's a world where she was asking for something really reasonable and Nick was like, fuck her, she's going back to Norway. I'm just going to fight this until she gets bored and fucks off.
Link to him is just going to pop up. And they're just going to be like, okay, we found this. He provided this. Let's just make sure everything aligns. secured debts, monthly expenses. Damn. This is important. Remember when he said, hey, I have to pay rent now? It's likely for the divorce to show that he does have some bills and he's just not living rent-free off of soda. Credit card, charge accounts, other debts, instruments guaranteed, like Jesus, accounts. It's mostly just financial records, guys. Gift loans, gifts, motor vehicles. Ooh, oh, man. This lawyer is literally like...
Has there been anything that really points to financial abuse? I think so, if her filings are true. So financial abuse, I think, I'm guessing a little bit here. But my guess is for Texas courts, financial abuse here doesn't mean you're like spending money to beat the shit out of somebody. It just means that you are solely in control of all of the finances and you're not giving like rightful or equitable distributions to that money to somebody. So let's say that me and my wife are working on some business together and it's earning $100,000 a month. And let's say that I tell her, you get $500 a month to spend out of the account. Don't fucking touch anything. In fact, I'm going to write you a check for $500 and you don't get to touch anything else. That would be like financial abuse, basically. And part of arguing for financial abuse, probably an essential part, I would imagine, of a divorce case is arguing for financial abuse and that you didn't have access to the money that was rightfully yours so that you can argue for getting that money after your divorce, right? Yeah.
Hey, anything of value, Ninja? Did you sell anything? Did you write anything off? Hey, where's the GTR? Or is it a GTR? Intellectual and intangible property rights, safe deposit box records. Bro, please don't tell me you got all your shit in the safe deposit box that you know about. Or are they she at Nick's house?
The reason why, like, again, my guess is going to be there's a boilerplate you request for divorce stuff. It's not like they're requesting all of this because they want, oh my God, I know he's got a safe deposit box with so much stuff in it, right? It's probably just you don't want to give somebody an ability to hide shit in a really retarded way, right? Like, oh, I'm actually broke. I have no money. Sorry. Like, and there's no way to see it. And it's like, hold on. Have you given anybody recently? So that's why you get like a request for funds held by another person or another person. There's probably you request like all of this stuff so that somebody can't like go and hide all of their money into some other thing that is now beyond discovery. And now, oh fuck, I just missed out on all of that cash because they were putting it in a place that I didn't request access to.
Bro, please don't tell me you got all your shit in the safety deposit box that you know about. Funds held by another. Kachi, how much money is Nick actually to hold? Kachi, you here? Is Kachi watching? Is she live right now? Or his mom? All the money that he's property over, any reimbursement claim, XQC's house, real estate sold, he don't got none, lease agreements. I wonder if he's paying for Kachi's apartment, right? Do they live together now? Like, guys, don't quote me. I don't be knowing. Real estate outside the United States. It's, oh shit, yo, like this is the messy thing about divorce. I remember I had to turn over all of my credit card. I had to send my trust.
Okay, Jesus.
Not currently in her possession, and are items which are not in Nicholas Palome's actual possession, custody, or control.
Fuck, I gotta do anything else soon. He objects to the director's records documents and items which are not in his actual possession, custody, or control to the extent requests. She obtained documents not currently in her possession, but rather in the possession of another person or entity that is not directly under her control. Objects generally to the instructions to the extent that they seek to impose obligations beyond the scope of the Texas rules of civil procedure, and further objects generally to the definitions to the extent that they exceed the requirement. Okay. This was the objections.
To the extent Melina requests and requires that she obtain the documents not currently in her possession, but rather the possession of another person or entity that is not directly.
Nick Palm objects generally to the use of the words each, such, any, all, and other because they are too global, general, and do not adequately describe which information is requested or sought with reasonable particularity, and they are so vague that Nick Palm is, in good faith, unable to ascertain which information. Okay,
you know what I'm saying? Like, she really does.
This is bullshit. This is you're fighting on every single fucking point here because again, like. Court is not like you're on Mars and the other person is in Andromeda and you guys are like shooting motions or filings to the court and then you read those and you're like, oh fuck, the other side says this. Like you guys can make phone calls to each other, counsel can confer with each other, figure out like what they want. Like all of this stuff should be happening before motions are filed with the court anyway. They should already be conferring with each other and negotiating, figuring stuff out. So this is just bullshit. If somebody's making a request like this and you don't understand, you can very easily communicate that to them. You don't have to be, refusing to send them anything or making filings to the courts and like, oh, actually, like this is, they're just being obstinate. They're fighting as hard as possible on every single thing. Yeah.
Any word of each, such, all, other, because they are too global in general and do not adequately describe information. Nicholas further reserves the right to object to additional discovery in answering.
Objects to producing requests which would require Nick Palm to create a document not in existence. A party is not required to produce a document or tangible thing unless it is within that person's possession, custody, or control. A document that does not exist is not within the party's possession, custody, or control. The only exception to the rule of this is, yeah. Oh, geez. Okay.
Look at these objections likely blend up. Okay, so bank statements. He's like, no, bish. No. Receipts are probably one of the messiest divorces.
Are held in the name of Nicholas Michael Palm and or Molina are held in the name of business. Okay, documents pertaining to statements prepared by a bank, savings, or other, including without limitation to. Okay, so this is what the request was for, and then they are object to producing this because. Objects to the request for production to the extent the burden or expense of the proposed discovery outweighs its likely benefit, taking into account the needs of the case, the amount in controversy, the parties' resources, the importance of the issues at stake in the litigation, and the importance of the request for production in resolving the issues. So, like, this is what you would say if, let's say that somebody is like, what would this even be? Let's say that I was married, and let's say I had like a 5-year-old son who had a lemonade stand and he sold like $30 of lemonade last summer. And then let's say that the opposing party was like, we want every receipt for every glass of lemonade sold. We want your profit and loss statements for all 3 months of the summer. And we need to see, like, in that case, you might be able to argue, hold on, this kid sold $30 of lemonade. This is highly burdensome. It's not relevant to this case. You're talking like this is ridiculous. Like, we're not going to go through all the effort to compile these statements for you. This is stupid as fuck. But they're making this objection when she's saying, can you send me your bank account records? This is not, first of all, it's not burdensome. You're literally just bringing up PDFs for bank statements on your bank account website, number one. Number two, outweighs the benefit. These are paramount. These are the most important records that she needs. This is...
that's likely buttoned up. Okay, so bank statements. You like, no, bish. No.
Jesus. And then, okay, so they're just giving a boilerplate, no response to everything.
Object to this request for production to the extent the burden or expense of the proposed discovery.
Okay, so it sounds like, so my guess is Nick is fucked, and he's just going to fight all the way down, just in reading this response. It seems like he's totally fucked, and he's just going to fight to the bitter end on this.
Outweighs its likely benefit in taking into account the needs of the case, the amount of content.
Okay, also, I'm killing my kick stream for like a minute or two, and then I'll bring it back, and then we'll start anything else in a bit.
This is all standard, guys. He's eventually going to give these to her at mediation, or she's going to subpoena it. Check images. It's going to be like the same thing. It's going to be the same thing over and over. Objects to this request for production.
Oh, it's going to be with every single thing. That's how he responds.
$1 million for cash. How much are you?
You're an idiot, but
nothing about.
Oh, that's it so far.
Imaru, because I knew there. Normally, like, it'd be both parties will be in agreement to seal it. Are y'all gonna send me the videos or what? Don't keep baiting those schizos.
Response to motion to seal.
Look, everyone says, hey, you didn't. Look, no one sent me the videos.
she was like,
17.
Do that girl sex.
Like,
I don't know, for real, bro.
You're not probably go man or well, airport. Now this heavily named room is hard, peace, love,
that's it.
happiness.
Right. Well, Nick is fucked. Good luck, buddy. Are you streaming anything else? Yeah, it should be streamed. Wait. Yeah. She's going to get way more than half when this is done. Well, the main concern might be how much is even left, because he might be fucking it all up. All right. Starting my other stream. We'll be good to go in like 10-15 minutes. I love you guys. Kick.com/destiny. 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 Be there or be square.